Welcome back, everybody, to the Fishbowl. Thank you for joining us once more in our lovely little aquarium. As always, I'm one of your four hosts, Barracuda. Now, let me give my friends their much deserved introduction, starting with Stingray,
Hello, my fishy friends that are returning. I hope you brought more.
Manatee,
Hi. Back to everything.
and Little Squid.
I'm actually a very big squid. I'm big fin squid.
Sure,
Sure.
Mr. Kid.
Stingray, would you like to explain the rules to our old and new friends?
Of course. So, unlike last episode, which we had a topic already pre-picked, from this episode onward, we are going to have our topics picked at the beginning of each episode. We'll do that by having our fishbowl, which will be filled with topics. Whichever one we draw is our topic for the day. We will try to stick somewhat close to that. It will veer off at times, but this is just us having fun and chatting. This is a starting point in a way. So, let's see what our starting point is for this episode. Barracuda?
Coming right up. Here's the fishbowl, and here is the topic. Drum roll, please. Insert random ocean noises. And here we are.
Oh, this is always a fun game to play. Would you rather?
Oh God.
Squid. First question.
Why do we gotta start with me? Okay. This is the
Sorry,
one
kid.
thing I can start with like most topics, like easy. Would you rather? I'm absolute shit at, but I'll give it a shot because it'll at least be funny.
I gotta say, I
Alright.
love that this is our first topic we actually drew. This is gonna be a fun. This is gonna be a fun night.
It's gonna be a
Yeah, well,
All right.
just because it's us, I will be putting this in just because to cover our bases. Trigger warning. Boom, that's it.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay. If you had to live, that's also a would you rather. All right.
I feel like the would you rather is a blanket statement. Like, if you so you don't have to start it with would you rather. If you wanted to do it like if you could live, I think that counts.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
a, it's
Yeah.
a this or that really situation. Like, here,
period.
I'll start us off with a question for you, Squid. Would you rather live life with one leg or one arm? Let's
Ooh.
start simple.
Depends on which arm. I do draw a lot, so that would
You
kind of
keep your
suck if I lost my
I'll say this.
arm.
You
Okay.
keep your dominant arm and leg. You lose your non-dominant
Alright.
one.
Ooh, and I also I dance a lot as well. Shit. So I kind of use all my limbs. But there's a lot of ways, a lot of inventive ways people have made prosthetics, and also just like I have a friend who also dances in a wheelchair. Uh, I feel like um, I'm gonna say leg. I'm gonna say leg.
You'd rather live with one leg?
Are we talking like knee down or like all the way down from my top of my thigh downwards?
Your thigh and below is gone.
Okay.
You might have a little
You-
nub,
wait.
but
Do you guys know that bit where it's like, would it hurt if your leg got cut off? Does anyone know this bit?
no.
Okay. Well, it
Feel
goes
like I heard a bit like this, but
I feel like you would know this, Manatee, but okay. It goes like, of course it would hurt when your leg gets cut off. And then the other person goes, but where would you feel the pain? And like in your leg. And like, wait.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you
That's
feel-
the bit I'm thinking.
You feel the pain at the spot your leg is missing.
wait,
I
I do
mean,
have a
I
question.
know, but it's part of the bit. It's part of the bit.
Yeah.
If I were if you were to lose your leg, would you be able to get a prosthesis, or your leg, or you were never able to? You just have one leg.
Oh, you could
The
you
best
could get a prosthetic. You're just losing it. You
Okay.
Okay,
No,
I
'cause-
was gonna say I live in affordable housing. I can't afford that. Like, it's not
Well,
happening.
here's the thing. I feel like a prosthetic is like then it's an easy replacement. I'm not saying prosthetics are easy to deal with. I think the best type of prosthetic you can get is a pirate peg leg or arm. It's just
Yeah.
a wooden.
I like it.
No,
Um,
no, no, no.
I mean, honestly,
a running prosthetic would be nice.
to
I
me,
think those are that's really cool technology.
yeah, to me, it feels like the leg is the least impactful because I have on America's Got Talent. By God, there was I think the guy had no legs and he was walking on like arm crutches, or he had one leg that wasn't even that good.
Mhm.
He was a phenomenal dancer. Like, by God, I can't remember if he got a golden buzzer or not when he auditioned, but he was
That's pretty cool.
amazing.
See, okay, it's because the prosthetic helped me with my answer, because I think I would lose my leg for two reasons. One, because I feel like my arms would be a lot better because I'm able to draw, write, all that, drive. But also, if I was able to get a prosthetic leg, I'm able to shop for shoes, because I always think to myself, like, if someone has one leg, what happens? Like, they can't just go shoe shopping and just buy one shoe.
Oh, no. I would be the guy who would argue, I want a 50% off deal because I only need one shoe. I only need I only need the right leg, right foot.
Shoe. Kind of like, what are you gonna do with the other shoe?
Eat it.
Donate it.
Well, okay.
So
have
who?
you
A
watched-
person
never
who
mind,
doesn't
never
have
mind.
their other shoe.
Yeah, there are plenty of
See-
people who live with only one shoe.
See, I'm different from you guys. I like walking and I just feel like missing the leg would be annoying. I'd lose the arm. I'd lose my non-dominant arm.
That's fair.
See,
yeah.
In
That's
high
fair.
school, I broke my wrist, left
Mhm.
wrist, so I was without my arm for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I got used to it relatively quickly. I think I can get used to only having one arm. I don't think I'd ever get used to having only one leg.
Yeah.
No, right? It's like I bike to and from work. I bike to get around to the grocery store and much more. So it's also like most of these things I can do in walking distance, or I'm lucky to live in an area with public transit. But that's why I was contemplating so hard. It's like,
Yeah.
I kind of need
Like,
and rely
honestly,
on these things. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of like. I know we have a lot of things for disabilities, but sometimes it's not cared for properly, and it's not always overseen very well.
yeah. There's honestly, this is one I like. It's so simple, yet it really gets you thinking about just how it affects every day. And in fact, I mean, just imagine the people who are able to thrive when they've either lost one of these limbs or were born without one, but the bad one that essentially doesn't work. And these people can thrive and do better than most of us even.
Well, I have a question.
Let's hear it.
I
Okay. It's more of like I guess, would you rather? So, for the basis, you're a person. You're just a normal person. No special power, no ability. You're just a normal person.
Just the normal everyday person you are currently.
Exactly. Would you rather be in the world of Attack on Titan or Jujutsu Kaisen?
JJK.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with JJK on that one. Sure, there's definitely parts that are fucked up, but it's like most of the time it's quick.
And another thing, it's very localized. It's hidden very well from the general public.
And it's
Persons
also
aren't
the
a
fact
known
that-
aren't a mass known thing.
It's also the one thing there's only Jujutsu. I'm pretty sure from what the mangaka said, there's only Jujutsu in Japan, so we'd be fine. We would not be affected.
Even if I would say this to make his point a little bit more valid between the differences. Let's say it might not be jujutsu in places other than Japan, but there's different variations of it throughout the world. So every country does have the problem with curses, but they just have their own different manner of dealing with them and the cursed energy.
Man, I would hate to see what kind of curses we have in America. I don't want
Ooh.
to think about it.
Okay, actually,
Is now a good time to mention that I'm gonna pick Attack on Titan because I never watched Jujutsu Kaisen.
you know what?
That's fair.
It's fair. I'll
See,
give you that. But
I guess I never watched Jujutsu
I-
Kaisen, but I agree with Barracuda. I would totally do Attack on Titan.
really, y'all
Why?
are gonna
Okay.
go through the rumbling that killed what?
No.
80 to
Okay, hold
90% of people?
Wait, Nick.
You say we live in the world, meaning that events that happen in the show are happening to us. We are happening to us. Either whether we are within the walls or we are on the mainland. It doesn't matter. Everyone is
Oh
screwed
no,
over
it
by
matters.
Titans eventually.
Oh, it
My
matters.
argument in this situation is, well, yes, you have to deal with the occasional giant Titan running around.
Mhm.
That's most of the problems comes if you're fighting the Titan. Maybe I'm just baker in the middle of the town making bread. 90% of my life is normal.
Oh, Barracuda, we need to talk about this.
Oh. And in Jujutsu Kaisen, it
I
isn't
would,
either
I
where.
would be a full normal person in the wall because of what happened. Because as long as I'm in the wall, that's
Okay,
fine.
No.
Okay, maybe it's time for me to admit I've also never watched Attack on Titan. You
Oh,
picked-
really?
You picked the two animes I've never watched.
I've only watched like the most of the first season of Attack on Titan. It wasn't quite my thing.
I
But-
watched.
I can see why it's understandable. It is very gory.
I'll say I watched up to where they're confronting Bertolt and Reiner. Spoilers in case for someone who, for some reason, has not seen this far into Attack on Titan.
That's why I was telling you, whoa, after you said the rumbling.
Yeah, well, with how big it's been, I would assume 90% of the people who would watch this and understand what Attack on Titan is would have seen most of it. I mean, the thing's finished, isn't it? Like
But you got like
the anime's
sometimes you
complete, like the anime's
Yeah.
been finished for like a year, for like what, 2 years now?
and
Yeah, I think we're
Take their
past the
time.
point. I think we're past the point where most people who will have seen it. So again, sorry about earlier, but and spoilers for any future animes and shows we will may or may not discuss. This is your spoiler. I will try to mention again if we bring up another anime, but either way, I stopped around where Reiner and Bertolt were fighting against Eren and them, and that final battle with Bertolt in there. I stopped around there. I honestly, it really did lose me after the time skip. I gotta admit, it definitely took an interesting turn with Eren. Just complete his personality felt like a complete 180 in that 1 year or 2 year time skip, was it?
that. Oh boy.
Yeah.
That whole season stuff was wild.
Yeah.
It flipped everything upside down.
It-
But
it-
I mean, look, if I was a normal person, I would feel safe knowing that I am safe, unknowing what's happening in the world. It's like not knowing what you know, you know?
okay. I definitely would feel much safer in Jujutsu Kaisen, not knowing what's happening, because 99% of people in the world don't know what's happening and about the curses, and they live normal, modern lives. Heck,
And I also, I
It-
like my modern comforts.
it is done in a way that Jujutsu sorcery and curses could actually be a thing in real life. They just won't have the big spectacle battles like they do in the anime, but it's done in a way to where the whole concept is hidden from the general public, so only select few people who know about it are the ones who deal with it.
Interesting.
No, and I think like, oh no, what was I gonna say? I forgot. Well, to
Alright.
be fair, like the fight with like Sukuna and Mahoraga, if you've seen that fight, both English and Japanese dub are amazing. Ray Chase does a fantastic job as Sukuna in English dub.
Yeah,
are just so good. Would I want to be there to witness that? Absolutely not. Is it cool as fuck? Yes.
yeah.
Right. Not wanting to cut anybody else off, but don't forget,
Mhm.
anime is a topic in the fishbowl.
Yeah,
Good point.
yeah.
Maybe we should.
Yeah,
maybe we should
well, we only focused on these two here, so let's do something else. Well,
Oh, if
here's
you wait. Never mind. I'll
I
come up
have
with it later.
I have an item.
Mhm.
This one's gonna touch into the anime a little bit more, but it's not focused.
Oh,
Would you rather have a magic system like a normal magic system like Harry Potter, or would you
Mhm.
rather use a key system like in Dragon Ball? So you have your inner energy and balance between physical, like ki and like ki is like same as chakra in Naruto essentially. It's a balance of physical and mental fortitude. Or would you rather have magic like you see in Harry Potter or other media, like Fairy Tale, for example, which is more emotional and innate casting, not knowledge based, like in Harry
Fairy
Potter?
Tale, continue.
Fairy Tale, Harry Potter, emotion based all the way.
Yeah.
I don't
Emotion
want to
based.
put. Does it look like I'm a wizard? I'm not I don't want to study for my magic. I just want to feel emotions, kick butt, and scream until I set something on fire.
Yeah.
Real.
Yeah. No, that's
Oh,
good. But
Um.
don't forget that in Dragon Ball, high emotions do cause ki to flare up, and you will be able to use the different techniques like instant transmission, kamehamehas. You can learn the flight techniques. You can
and
learn that stuff, and you will just be physically stronger and faster in general.
are you
Versus
kidding me?
magic as like and just kind of which is focused a little bit more on imagination.
Are you kidding me? There's a man out there that can fly. He can do lifts. He does all of this and is a great magician,
Yeah. Oh,
even though he doesn't know any flippin' magic at all.
yeah, yeah. I'll say this. Yes, I defended Dragon Ball heavily there, but I definitely would prefer Magic System because it's just so much more diverse in because
Ugh.
it feels and you can do a lot of things the key can do. Dragon Ball key system's only as powerful and as strong as it is, and yes, this might be a slightly controversial opinion, but Dragon Ball has been going on for so long, and with how shows do, any show in general, they
Mhm.
have to make each season or following arc after the previous one at least just a little more intense. And when you get to planet destroying things, you gotta next thing you do is solar system or stars, and it just spirals up from there. I'm not saying anything against shows like Dragon Ball. It is,
Mhm.
I mean, Dragon Ball is the start of anime in America. Period. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have the modern ones we have today.
Well,
But
yeah.
Also, it's
That and
just
Akira.
it's
yes,
just the sheer fact that in Dragon Ball, yes, you have the powers, but you still have to train. You still have to lift weights.
yeah.
I don't want to do that. I just want to be able to cast magic and.
You will still have to practice and put in some physical effort for the magic, though. You're not
I was gonna say
for
that. I'm pretty
neither
sure
on
it's
both
I
of them.
haven't read Harry
You are a
Potter,
normal
but yeah.
person. You are a normal person learning these things, so you actually have to put in some effort. If you do a if you try to focus on physical based magic or enhancing, which I personally would say everyone should do to a degree, you would
Mhm.
need to practice. You need to practice with your body too, because you also want to make sure your body is not just completely forgotten. Like Dungeons and Dragons, the only reason that wizards are so frail is just to balance out the fact they have some of the strongest ranged abilities in general. I mean, come on, Wish?
Um, Fair enough. I got one. Stepping away from the anime system, would
Mhm.
you rather randomly? Now, this is every single day for only about 2 minutes. Would you ratherly burst out into song and you're forced to sing everything you say,
Mhm.
or randomly burst into dance and you got to do a full dance number for 2 minutes?
Oh God, I feel like
Ooh.
singing because if I'm like, I I also work in food and I have to carry heavy things. And if I break out into dance and launch food at my coworker, that's going to end badly. So I'd prefer to burst out into song and get yelled at.
I
But
Now,
hurt
I have a
somebody.
problem because if I sing, I'll dance, and if I dance, I'll sing. So I'm
I
You-
will say, to
Way.
give you guys a little bit of a benefit, you are actually in this case, you are good at what you do. So if you start out singing, it's actually good singing. And if you have to bust out dancing, you are like one of the top dancers. So
Yeah.
you
I
are good at what
just-
you do. So you don't look too much like an idiot.
I'll do the
I was
singing
person to
because
operatic
then the dance moves come
singing.
in. Hey.
I think I would do. I think I do the singing too because it can be much more subtle. Because you can do a quiet ballad-like song, which is
Mhm.
almost more personal to you, so mothers
Oh
may
no,
not hear
you're
it.
not. No, you are a showstopper.
Oh, like
got-
you basically you have to do it like High School Musical style dance or singing, where it's just a
Okay,
big
wait, I have a
number.
question. If
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
this is happening, does it happen only while we're awake, or can it happen in the middle of the night while we're asleep?
Only when you're awake, and it's always at the worst possible time. You're like in the middle of your shift,
Uh-huh.
you're in the middle of the groceries. Pretty much, it's like you've been put on a curse has been put on you.
Uh-huh.
Your whole thing is you got to get attention.
So we're essentially doing high school theater program flash mob.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
Will
great.
will we get backup dancers / backup singers?
Only if somebody chooses to join you. But let's be honest, there's so many theater nerds out there in the world. You probably will end up getting backup dancers or singers.
Okay. And I'm assuming they would
Everyone wants to jump
they
behind
would
a
somehow end up know because of the magical effect of the curse. They would somehow know the right dance moves and choreography if you're dancing, and keep the right tonal and words for the singing.
You
So
hope
it's infectious.
No, it's not
We hope so.
infectious. It's not infectious. Honestly, everyone, you're gonna.
We're
The whole
just
thing
we
is-
just break out a normal thing. We will be in Walmart, and all of a sudden we will either start singing at the top of our lungs, causing people to look at us strange, or we just start dancing all over the store.
Correct. It just affects you. But let's be honest, there are some theater nerds out there that saw that, and if it was a good enough show,
They
they
would
would
join
choose.
I'm bursting out into Hamilton in the middle of my Stop and Shop.
You know,
Whatever you think is up to you. Pretty much.
I think I'd do the dancing. Because yes, you said you got to get attention, but if say you're in school and you're doing a test, you can
Mhm.
dance in your chair and still get some attention, but you won't be breaking rules by making noise that could throw your test off. You'll get some attention from people, but you're still in your chair, taking your test. Your dancing could be
Could
focused
I
on
get-
your feet and some arm movements. I think I'd
Would
pick
you
the
be able
dancing.
to get an accommodation for that? Like, hey, I might randomly burst into song. Can I get an accommodation for that? That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Please, Professor. Please, please, please. Oh, I have a would you rather. May I?
Go for it.
Sure.
All right. So, would you rather fly or teleport, and why?
Teleport.
Personally, I'm gonna say
Teleport.
fly. Teleport?
Teleport.
Okay.
I honestly think I'd pick fly myself. Because
Listen,
well,
flying-
how does a teleport work exactly? Do you have to have been to places, or do you have to be familiar with them to be able to teleport?
Good question. I think you have to at least be somewhat geographically familiar and also have a good spatial sense. If you're going to try and go somewhere that's not like you can control where you want to go, but if you haven't been somewhere before, it's going to be harder. It's like a map on a road that you haven't
Okay.
been down before.
Teleporting.
Question.
Listen, I love flying. The idea of flying would actually be pretty cool. My whole thing is birds are jerks.
Also, am I going to get shot down by the U.S. government for flying?
Yeah.
Oh,
Too.
plane.
I get you know
My
what?
whole-
You're right. Even if you're flying, they could still keep up with you. But if you teleport, you could teleport even if you're in handcuffs. You can just teleport out of them.
Also, how fast are you flying? Because are we going Superman speed or are you going your normal speed?
We're going
Because
Mach 20.
oh
Yeah,
boy.
I'll say we go we will go the speed of the average fighter jet as a top.
Okay, because
I'll say
I
that so we're
think-
not going too crazy.
I
No, I
think
feel
you
like
should be able to
teleporting.
break the sound barrier. I think that's funny. So for the bit, that's my personal opinion. That's how I see
you
it.
can break the sound barrier. Oh,
Yeah,
Well-
I'm traveling at light years, y'all. Which that's actually light years isn't. Light years speed or distance, I forget.
Also,
It's
flying
distance.
really depends on weather. Are you gonna go out flying when it's freaking thunder and lightning?
Oh,
or
hell yeah.
snowing, or
Yes.
foggy.
I think I'd go with teleporting because, yes, flying is amazing. It would be one of the most fun abilities to have. But
Yeah.
teleporting just feels like it'd be more useful in everyday things because with it, as long as you got yourself ready, you can just wait till the minute you need to be somewhere and you can just teleport to the front door or whatever the moment you need to be there. And you will almost never be late as long as you just keep a small eye on your time. Don't just let that go to your head that you can be there whenever.
That's my main concern with teleporting, and that's why I'm still gonna pick flying over it. Is I feel like convenience is a very big thing in our culture, and I feel like it can also be a bad thing a lot of the time. It's not entirely a bad thing, but it can be. And I feel like I am definitely prone to giving into that. So I feel like I need something that still makes me give it enough effort. Also, I love that scene in the first How to Train Your Dragon movie where they're flying through the sky together. I want that.
Oh.
If we're flying
Yeah.
like with dragons, I would fly with dragons. We're
oh.
flying first.
If the-
This is a different story.
No questions asked. If the flight came from Dragon, I want that little puppy cat giant lizard creature. I mean, come on, you gotta
No,
agree.
right?
The
Absolutely.
dragons in How to Train Your Dragons act like cats and dogs, but they can fly and breathe fire.
Not by
I had
yourself.
the How to Train Your Dragon game for the Wii. I got it on clearance at GameStop an age ago. It was my favorite thing.
They
I love to
had
just
one?
fly around on Toothless. It was the best.
They had one for the Wii?
They did. Yeah, it was great. I still have it around somewhere. But definitely like that. And there was also like a game where you could on the phone you could still fly around and collect fireflies with Toothless. I never got to buy the full version, but I just would fly around for hours. It was great. But that's my take on dragons, which is I have so many dragon items and plushies that you cannot see, but I own many.
Oh, dragons.
Dragon.
Dragons are one of the best mythical creatures, period.
For real.
I got
Ooh,
one.
okay. Yes, go.
Yep.
Go.
This one's real. Would you rather, and you're completely forced to, by the way, like,
Oh,
We
God.
have
Would
to
you
do
rather-
one of them.
yes. Would you rather be forced to marry one of your friends
Mm.
or forced to marry a random stranger? Like, lottery picking random stranger.
Oh God, friend. People are
Friend.
assholes.
Question.
Of the friends, it is also random.
Question.
Friends.
Are they still are they still the gender you like? Are they still what you prefer, or can it be like if you
Is
like
it just
girls,
like
you
whatever?
still get a guy?
We'll say the friend shifts to become the gender you find attractive.
Oh,
By the way, yes, since it's your thing, and the friend is aware that their gender is changed, they are not happy about it. They don't magically become okay with it. They wake up one day, they're now married to you and possibly the different gender that they went to bed with.
So basically, it's like they went on a trip, went to Vegas, and they woke up being married to your best friend.
and possibly gender
And-
swapped.
And possibly gender swapped, yes.
I think
Okay.
I'd actually
Thankful
go with
that-
the random stranger personally.
I'm thankful that 90% of my friends are like queer, so I don't have to worry about this so much.
Ah,
Wow. I think I'd
Oh.
actually go with the random stranger because
Mm-hmm.
like most of my friends are dudes so and the few female friends I have actually are in relationships or are married.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
And let's be honest here. If any of us, I can't speak for Dylan or Thomas, whoever they are in this case. They are friends of ours. They're not with this podcast, so I can say their names. I can't speak for them, but I could speak for myself, saying if I was now suddenly woke up one day a girl and married to you, and I found out it was because of your ass, I am kicking said ass. As our honeymoon, you're getting an ass kicking.
Yeah.
If it makes you feel any better, I can show you how to get top surgery.
I'll say that I feel like it's better. It's easier if you do strangers because there's even TV shows that randomly put you up with a stranger that you only know that you meet and learn their name one
Married at first
day,
sight?
and now you're getting married.
Fiance, 90-day fiance.
Oh, okay. That's a whole subject we have to talk about on another time because I will go on a rant.
I would
no.
not want to be married to a celebrity.
Ugh.
Oh,
It depends on the.
no.
I'd say it would depend on the celebrity.
What is our definition of celebrity? Because you have like big names like Johnny Depp and stuff, but arguably, I would
Big
say Gordon Ramsay is a celebrity,
Oh,
but
he
he's
is.
not like.
He is.
But he's not so big that I have to worry about being mobbed in freaking public.
Okay,
one other
And
thing.
then there are also some
Celebrity.
there are also some people who are celebrities in more localized manners. Like there's a guy named Kevin Bledsoe who is a celebrity in the barbecue world of cooking. He is a celebrity there, but outside of that, not most people know him.
World renowned. Let's go with that.
Okay.
World renowned celebrity.
So someone that a good chunk of the world would know.
And itching on influencers and TikToks. That's a whole rabbit hole. We can't go down that road.
No,
Aw.
yeah.
No
I
ninja.
definitely wouldn't want. Just
Now.
because, like, also most celebrities are, I think, a fair amount older than we are. And I would prefer to be with somebody at least within my age range.
Granted, yeah. If we're doing influencers and stuff, then we are in that age range. Because I didn't realize this about somebody, but it's like the guy I watch who does reaction videos. I don't know if I'm able to say his name or not, but he is definitely well known.
Okay.
He just did a video where he is looking at the time a movie came out that he's reviewing, and it came out in 2010. And he said he was 11 at that time. I didn't realize he was not quite 2 years older than me. I thought he was more like 4 or 5. I'm just not used to people like that being that close in age to me.
It is strange, yeah. No, there's a lot of factors to consider with this one, but at very least I trust my friends, I know my friends, and I feel like I can be open with them for the most part. It's also like, I guess who you consider a friend and who like would fall into that category as well.
Yeah.
I think if you're marrying them, you could just have this like a married relationship with these friends in it because you're married in name, not you don't do anything else for it.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it just said you have to marry them. You could just immediately divorce them afterwards.
Yeah, you did say that. As long as it's
I
like,
mean, yes. Yes, you could immediately divorce.
Like, that's a possibility.
but
You guys know what a
yes,
lavender
you could.
marriage is?
But going back to like the gender swap thing, if I picked friends and it was you, Barracuda, and you got turned into a chick, I think you'd still be mad at the fact you turned into a chick even if we got the divorce immediately.
Well,
I'd be more mad because you made me become a girl now for nothing. I'd be like, no, we're staying married and we are going to do the real marriage, you bastard.
No,
yeah,
you have
so
to
is that change
being
permanent
that'd be
or is it
really
just because you changed genders for permanent? Oh boy, I would be pissed too. It's like you married me and divorced me. I changed this for this. Oh no.
It's like, no, I'm mad. I'm still kicking your butt. But I'm now permanently a girl. We aren't getting divorced. We're having a real marriage. You're stuck with me. Now, where are we going for our honeymoon after I kick your ass?
I'm gonna go to hell.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to join me, feel free, but go wherever you want.
Like, no.
Oh, actually, I do.
I'm gonna say it. I would rather marry a friend because at least I can more than likely, because I know my friends, I'd end up getting hit as well. But again,
Yes.
knowing my friends, after they hit me, they're like, screw it. What do you want to do now?
Yeah, it's like it's done. There's not much you can do. You know, yeah, I said strangers, but now as you kind of said it like that, I'm kind of really stuck on the fence. I think
Well,
I
it's like,
still
I
go
definitely-
more to the strangers part because, like I said, there are shows where that does happen, although they know stuff like that's going to happen, but it's it still has some precedence in real life.
Because here's the thing. Notice how I didn't say age-appropriate stranger. I just said stranger.
Oh,
Oh
bruh,
my god.
bruh,
You're terrible.
you no,
You're
yeah.
fine.
To be clear.
I might have to bleep that comment, dude. That is horrible.
Monster.
What are you thinking of? What if I was thinking like if you got married to a 90-year-old?
Oh,
That is still
On the
legal,
bright
and
side,
that is
you
still
might
legal and
get
could be considered
good-
age appropriate.
I
Well, you
What?
might get a good inheritance. Wait, guys, think about this. What if you get money?
Oh
What if you get
god,
money in
God.
house?
god.
Do you
Okay,
know you know how hard it is
Okay.
to get a house at our age? Come on.
okay.
Also,
This
back
part
on
here
you-
that part here is bad. I might have to cut that out.
bad on you for thinking I was going to be it was all going to be legal. I was thinking like way older than you.
You said
Everything like
you say
everything I
age
said-
appropriate and
okay. We are all within the age ranges of like 21 to 25. I don't know about you. I consider a 90-year-old age inappropriate.
I still
No, it just you said
yeah,
it was
it's not right,
wild.
but it still is like I see the idea and I'm not saying anything. I'm not going to say it's inappropriate or not because, like Squid said, you get that
that's
money.
on
You can get
guys
that
for
money.
thinking the worst- Well, that's on you guys for thinking the worst of me. How dare you?
Oh, don't even start,
You
Barracuda.
knew,
Don't
no,
even.
no, you
I mean, I
knew
trust
what you
y'all
were
to not do
saying.
that, so I didn't come to mind for me.
No, you knew what you were
What's
saying.
weird?
You knew where it was going to go. You were just acting like you didn't.
You have
Oh,
no proof of the matter.
I'm gonna
We
go over there
know
and slap
you.
you.
Show me the receipts. Show me the receipts right now.
My God. All right, do you want to do one more? Would you rather before we close off for tonight?
Yes.
What?
Let's do one more. Let's do one more. One that's fun and goofy.
All right.
Okay, I have one.
Let's hear it.
Okay, would you rather a million lions or a million Ratatats?
Say it
A
again.
million lions or a million what?
Ratatats, like for Pokemon, like the Ratatat Pokemon.
Oh,
It.
Are we fighting? I only heard the second part. Are we fighting?
Fighting,
them?
you're fighting.
Fight
God.
1 million lions or fight 1 million Rattatas from Pokemon.
Yes.
The
Rattata,
lion-
easy.
lions. I'm dying either way. The lions will make it quicker. Rats like
Yeah,
to eat people
I can
alive.
respect that.
Honestly, I kind of think yeah, it's a million Rattatas. Even if they are level 2 or 3, they at least know tackle and quick attack, and that's a million of them attacking at once.
Okay, would it help that you have at least one Pokemon on your side?
Can we choose the Pokemon? Non-legendaries. Nothing legendary mythical, though.
Wait. I think it'd be funny if we found a generator and we just generate one and see what happens. Can we
Yes,
do that?
that's more funny. That's really much more funny.
All right. Let's.
I
Okay.
actually have a Pokemon generator up. Like I have it starred.
Ha!
Like,
Let's see.
Yes, please.
Pokemon picker.
Yes, we'll go in order. So we'll start with Barracuda and then from there.
Okay. Go ahead and
I have a
share your screen, and we'll see it. Once
That's
you get it up,
hilarious.
share your screen, and we'll do a roll. We each get one Pokemon, and I say re-roll anything that could be legendary or mythical, because those are too strong. I mean, you got Dialga who can control time. You're winning.
Oh,
screen sharing starting now.
do.
I'll see my Pokemon generator.
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
All right. Generating. Now this one's mine, correct?
Yes, we'll do
Yes.
yours first. This is your
Okay,
Pokemon. You
here
have
we
to defend yourself.
Woo!
Oh!
That's
You know
nice.
what? You know what? I think I could beat 100 Rattatas with a Kadabra. I'll take
A
the
billion?
Rattata.
It's a million.
I think I can take the. Never mind. I'll choose the Lions with a Kadabra.
You know?
Because Lions don't have any special abilities like the Rattatas do. Lions are just basic.
They're just
Lions.
basic lions. They're just
Yeah.
basic lions.
I could have the Kadabras literally just pick them all up and yeet them off a cliff or something.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
No, I agree. Kadabra is a very good pick.
You got lucky with that. That's awesome.
My
Alright.
turn.
Manatee,
All
what's
right.
your
Alright,
Pokemon?
Forgetting.
Please be something good.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's
Oh,
Oh,
hello. Yes.
Darmanitan.
Oh, hell
God,
yeah.
you guys are winning.
I think
Oh.
I think
Me-
Manatee got a little bit better than you, Barracuda.
Me
I mean,
and
you could
me and
survive the
Jamaican over here are gonna be some fighting some
I just-
Rattatas with
Hey,
this.
I just realized something. Although it's a Darmanitan standard, if this one has the ability Zen mode, y'all both got psychic types.
Oh, that's funny. If it
Honestly, I think he'd be better off with going with the fighter fighting, just like kick their butts.
Darmanitan's not a
Hmm?
firefighting.
Let's be honest, he can throw hands like
Oh
any
no,
fighting
he
type.
definitely
he
looks like he
could.
should
If
be.
he was a firefighter, he could.
I can see the pure fighting. It doesn't. I won't argue that a pure fire doesn't work, but
Mhm.
fire
Look at those
fighting
hands.
would be so good. I will say I remember seeing a randomizer of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and a Darmanitan learned V Create, and its eyebrows were perfectly in line with Victini's V Create move.
Oh boy. Let's see what
All
Squid
right.
gets.
Squid, who's that Pokemon?
Yes.
Vulpix.
Oh no.
Ooh.
My
You-
baby.
You get Vulpix, not Ninetales. You have to use Vulpix.
I think I'd go with Rich Potatoes. We'd last a little longer. I don't want to traumatize this poor Vulpix.
You're going down. Let's be completely honest.
Yeah.
As much as I like Vulpix and Ninetales, Vulpix can't last against a million Rattatas.
No.
No,
Those
I'm
big
dead.
Ninetales,
attack, so it could outrun them.
Ninetales probably. Ninetales might. I think Ninetales
Well,
has a
Ninetales
chance.
is no psychic, so we got good
What's
things
with
for
the
that.
fire and psychic mixture so far?
I mean, we'll find out. You got you,
Yep.
shall we?
Do I continue
Okay.
the trend or am I going to be
Fire.
different?
I would die.
Who's that Pokemon?
What if I get a Mantine?
Oshawott.
Oshawott.
So Stingray and I are dead, regardless of what happens.
Ah!
So
Ah!
you didn't get a type or a psychic. You got a water type.
I
Now,
was
if you
go-
were Samurai,
If I was
You'd be
Samurott,
great.
I would be.
Samurai, we have a
Oh,
conversation.
Samurott! I am good. I am fine if Samurott. Oh, whoa! I didn't realize Oshawott is number 501. It is the starting of the latter half, technically, of the Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It's fun. You know what? You should fight the lions and then throw Oshawott to
Yeah.
the lions and make a run for it.
No, actually,
You know
I
what?
have an argument. I have an argument for Vulpix for the right choice. The right choice for Vulpix is the Lions. Vulpix can still use moves like Flamethrower. The Lions are going to run away from the
Oh.
fire.
You know what?
That's-
Not a bad idea.
yeah, but
What?
they're not running
Depends
away
on
from
the
a
lions.
but they're not running away from a water gun.
No, they're not.
no.
The big
But
cats,
Chaz
though.
might.
If it was a Samurott, it could.
You'd be fine. You'd
Well-
be cooking.
They might run away from a Hydro Pump, which Oshawott can learn. It was shown with Ashes in the anime.
Yeah, but let's go off the games though.
I think it has to be
Because let's
taught
be honest,
by TM, and I would say we can't use TM moves like that.
No, it has to be from like when it's basically you put an Everstone on the thing you have and it stays like that for the
Yep.
fight.
I would like to make an argument about the games though, real quick.
Oh boy.
There were times about the games that I thought was really stupid. Like when they first introduced Mega Evolution in, I believe
X and Y.
it was
Alex,
X and Y. It was so incredibly underutilized, it
Oh.
pissed me off.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
There are 4 instances of battling a Mega Evolution in the game. You get the Lucario that you get when you first battle the 3rd gym leader. And
Karina.
Karina. Then you get after that, you get to fight Mega Lucario versus Mega Lucario. Next one, Lysander, right before the 8th gym. The one after that, the champion Diancie. And then you have a post-game one with your rival having a Mega Absol. That's 4 in the whole game.
Like,
I think
why?
they could have done so
This
much
game,
more.
It pissed me off because it's like, hey, this is a game that introduced Mega Evolution, but you can only Mega Evolution at most yourself 2 Pokemon if you pick a starter that can Mega Evolute.
Well, you do give they do give you one of the 3 Kanto starters, so.
So yeah,
Now
you can
Mega Evolve.
you yourself can Mega Evolve 2
Pokemon. Oh no, you do get option of a 3rd with Abomasnow. I'm pretty sure you do get Abomasnow when you meet the Frost Cavern.
Wolfric.
I mean, but it's kind of hard to get it.
Yeah.
The point is, like, for a game that introduced Mega Evolution, it is so underutilized. That's like, why?
I mean, I understand if we got it in the 3rd gym, but they didn't use it till like the 5th or 6th gym in the game. I can understand that in that case. But
I think
the 7th and 8th gym not having them, especially with the fact that Wolfric in the anime used a Mega Abomasnow.
I think every single gym leader after the 4th gym should have had a Mega Evolution.
Maybe not the Fairy
Yeah.
Gym, though.
Why not?
Oh, I know, the Fairy Gym could have had Mega Mawile and it still would have worked. But
yeah,
the Fairy Gym, you could argue, could have gone without it because it's introducing the Fairy type. So it could be focusing more on the type than the Mega Evolution.
Why not both?
Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, you're playing a game to introduce Mega Evolution. You should have Megas. It's kind of like how in Scarlet and Violet, you have Terrestrialization. Every single gym leader had a Terrestrialized Pokemon.
Yeah. And a few of the major battles outside of the gym leaders had Terrestrialized Pokemon.
If you introduce a new system, you should use the system.
Yeah. I say Terrestrialization still could have, personally, I feel like could have been used a little bit more, but it was still used in a good amount. It was represented fairly well.
I just don't think Nintendo was ready for Mega Evolution when they brought it up.
No.
Like, because the graphics at that current time were okay.
It was their first 3D game.
But Mega Evolution needed a lot better graphics than what they currently have. I think if they were to reintroduce Mega Evolution, we'd be seeing a lot better. Which we actually might be seeing, because I don't know if you
Legends
guys have
ZA.
clips of Legends ZA. They're introducing new Megas, so
so far the only clips that I've seen involving Megas are Megas that have already been established that we know of. I personally don't want to see any Megas until I get the game, because I want to be surprised and find them on my own. I might.
Is anyone else
be fine with one?
Praying that they do make the game Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, because I would really like to avoid buying the Nintendo Switch 2 until I'm physically forced to.
It's not. I already looked, and it is on both Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2.
Thank you, because I am not. I love Pokemon, don't get me wrong. I don't know if I'm willing to shell out that money for the Nintendo Switch 2.
No, that's so real. They got like the new Splatoon Raiders game for this, but it's exclusive to Switch 2 so far, and I'm so mad. And I'm like,
I'll tell you this: they're re-releasing Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 2, and if you go to the Tears of the Kingdom / Breath of the Wild website, they say you can download an app that only works with the Switch 2 versions of the game. That will give you the map on your phone. You can do a few extra things. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you can. Nintendo Switch app is what you download. You sign in with your Nintendo account, and then you link it up with your game that you're playing. As long as it's the Switch 2 version, you get extra benefits. I downloaded it and then realized it. But
anyway, folks, with the talk of the Nintendo Switch, I think we've been going for a while. I think this is a good time to end, don't you guys?
Yeah.
I am ready to sleep with the fishes.
I hope everyone enjoyed this first one, it actually definitely helped. We got lucky with Would You Rather. It definitely helped you kind of understand us a little bit better. That truly was purely by chance. We are not scripting anything except a small portion of the intro, maybe.
And that's only because, let's be honest, most of us have social anxiety and don't know how to start conversations.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Let's be honest, sometimes when I'm talking to people and things get really uncomfortable, I shout out random things. Like recently I was having a conversation with my coworkers and they were talking about politics, and I got so uncomfortable I just randomly shouted, "Let's talk about cheese."
Yeah. Yeah.
I respect that. Cheese is a great topic.
Yeah. And I'll say this. We are never going to talk about politics in this. This is pretty much the only kind of closest we'll ever get.
No,
We do
I
not
might
want to
add-
talk about anything highly controversial. We're here to have fun, and honestly, it'd be great for some people who can relate. Like, all of us have social anxiety. We have trouble making conversations.
I'm gonna be honest. Now I might add cheese to the fishbowl.
I love
think
that
you should.
idea.
Just cheese.
And actually,
You could
speaking
like
of which,
expand it a little bit, like cheese and like charcuterie boards, so we have more to talk about with it.
oh,
Woo!
I mean, that's
yeah.
where the whole thing. These topics are meant to be broad.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
we talked, who would you rather? But we spent a good 20 minutes talking about anime. So these topics are broad.
yeah. Like I said, they're starter topics. They're just to help us get going. And if
Did you
anyone
make a
who's
post
watching,
on-
if anyone who's watching actually feels like they want to suggest a topic, feel free to leave a comment of some kind. We will look at them and we'll consider it. We might already have it in there. We might not. So put it down if you feel like it.
Did you make a starter pun based off of Pokemon?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
I
I don't believe you.
You can watch the video back. I said at the beginning, these are starters. You can watch
Of
the video
course.
back.
sure.
Anyway, good night, folks. Thank you for joining us into the fishbowl. Catch us next week, where we will dive into a new topic. As always, I am Barracuda.
I'm Stingray.
I'm Nancy.
Squid.
I love
Have a
how-
good night.
Peace.